Do you have questions about your health? Do you need to find out what's keeping you from feeling your absolute best? If so, your intuition has guided you to the right place. I am Dr. Charlize, and welcome to the Art of Healing podcast community. In this podcast, we explore all topics in health and wellness, from Reiki to functional medicine, energy medicine, chakras, and meditation. Join me every week for fresh new episodes that highlight healers, various healing modalities, and choose this as your opportunity to find what healing works best for you. If you want to learn more about me, simply Google at Dr. Charlize. Enjoy. Hello, and welcome back to the Art of Healing podcast. I'm Dr. Charlize, and thank you so much for joining me for one of several in a series where we will be taking a deep exploration into the connection of our hormones, our emotions, and our biofield, our energy, our chakras. So, this podcast is Too Much in Your Head. So, we're going to explore the connection between your brain, your monkey mind, your mind matter, your root chakra, and this connection to your adrenal glands and why you care about this, why we all care about this. Maybe a connection that you had not been aware of, but I think once we're finished up here, you will be aware of it and you'll understand what's the consequences of when we overthink, when we think too much. So, to get into this talk, it might be nice before we dive right into the information part of this to come into your body and to ground your own energy, especially because we will be exploring our own roots and feeling within our own bodies. So, to do that, it might be nice at this point to take a slow breath in through your nose and feel your chest and belly expand, and just let that breath out. And maybe take two or three of those deep cleansing breaths in through your nose and chest and belly. And you can do this no matter where you are. Actually, even if you're driving, you need to do this to get realigned. Big breath in and just blow it out. So, as you listen to this, I would invite you to sense how you feel inside your body and to tap into some of those feelings as we explore this topic. Your root chakra, called Muladhara in the Sanskrit tradition in Ayurveda, sits at the base of your spine. It's your foundation and it's your energy center of safety, stability, and belonging. Physically, it is connected to muscular structures such as the lower back, the hips, the knees, and the legs. And it is also connected to your adrenal glands. This is an interesting connection. Your adrenal glands are two small glands that sit at the top of your kidneys, and your adrenal glands make many important hormones that affect your body and that you feel, but particularly the production of cortisol and DHEA is coming from these adrenal glands. When your root chakra is balanced, you feel grounded, you feel safe in your body, and you feel confident to take action wherever you feel it's needed. But when it's not feeling grounded, you might feel shaky. You might not feel that you're on solid ground. You might feel anxiety. And worst of all, you might actually feel physically ill from not feeling grounded. We all overthink. How can we not help it, especially in this information age, information driven world we live in? We live almost entirely in our heads. That's planning and scrolling and worrying about the future. all that mental energy pulls all of our physical energy upward into our mind and away from our body. So, what does that mean? It means that the real powerhouses of you, your physical body, are not getting your cognitive attention. You might not be noticing them. And we all do this when we're in our heads. We're thinking and we're planning and we're strategizing or we're worrying or we're stressing. But when you're doing that, the thing you aren't going to probably do is notice what your feet feel like, feel what your hips are doing, noticing if your back feels straight or feels good, or if your core feels nice and strong and is supporting your back very well, or how you're breathing. Are you actually moving air, or are you just sort of mimicking breathing where you're almost panting? So when we're overthinking, it might seem like it's a good thing because we're driving that energy into our head and we feel like, oh, we're getting something done because we're stressing out about it. But in fact, what we're doing is pulling important energy, physical, cognitive, vascular, neurological energy away from our body, pulling it into our head. The end result we might feel fatigue, feeling burnt out, feeling anxious or restless, having difficulty sleeping, feeling spaced out or feeling ungrounded, and cravings for things that we want to give us instant energy, such as sugar or caffeine. What this means for us is that we end up feeling stuck in fight or flight, and the mind and root chakra start to run on fumes. Let's connect the dots. From a medical perspective, the adrenal glands are part of the HPA axis. You've probably been hearing that term more and more. This is the communication loop between your brain and your adrenal glands. There's variations of this as well. Some say the HPAT axis, that's the hypothalamic-pituitary-adrenal gland, sometimes including the thyroid gland. When you're constantly thinking, the brain keeps sending signals that you are under threat. From an energetic lens, that signal comes across to your energy body is that I'm not safe. Safety is the job of the root chakra. So when you're not feeling safe, your body thinks, "Oh, we really aren't safe." That's the your body and your lower brain's interpretation. So when you start to think about this, either with cortisol, because when you don't feel safe, you will start to produce cortisol, low levels and more, the longer this feeling stays around, or if it's your chi, your life force that's feeling clogged up and is not moving. It's the same result. You feel depleted. Your nervous system stays on high alert, even when there's no emergency. When there's an emergency, we need this, but when there's not an emergency, that's an awful way to feel all the time. So, if you feel like this is you, and at times this is all of us, it's impossible to get away from feeling this way. I know for me, the peak times to get in my head, I love to get stressed out and in my head around 11 a.m. every day, usually when I'm in clinic, and then probably around 4 p.m. are my magic stress hours. I'm aware of it myself now. But if you know this about yourself, or maybe you feel like you're doing this all the time, let's talk about 5 things that you can do, 5 grounding practices to recharge. Because most of the time when you're feeling this way, why are you feeling this way? You are overthinking, you are in your head, but then you're probably in an environment where you might be forced to do this. You may be forced to be on meetings where you're having to listen, but you can't interact, you can't have a solution, or you're in an interaction that's stressful, or you're doing a job that's requiring this of you. So, what are 5 grounding things that you can do in the moment? Spend 5 minutes with your feet, if possible, barefoot on the earth each day. When you do this, you can visualize roots growing from your feet into the ground. Variations of this, because particularly maybe you're working in an office building or an industrial area, is simply spend 5 minutes breathing deeply, bringing your attention to the bottoms of your feet. Then, if it's possible, imagine if your feet could grow roots into the ground. And doing this for 5 minutes, nothing fancy, you'll start to notice your energy shift. The thoughts will slow down. You'll feel some of that energy pulling out of your head and into your body. To nourish your body. Foods that are grounding, such as root vegetables, beets, using ginger as a spice, that's a root vegetable, soups that can be grounding, and high quality proteins. That's a big one because so many of us overlook the importance of protein and especially high quality proteins when you're feeling anxious. Sometimes you need some protein. You might, if you're hungry a lot, maybe you're not getting enough protein to eat. And as you nourish your body, trying to realize that at that moment you are safe, it is safe to nourish yourself. You don't have to rush on to the next thing. Number three, create stillness. For a few minutes, breathe in to the count of 4, hold for 2, and exhale for 6. As a matter of fact, we can practice that right now. Why don't you take in a breath to the count of 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. And exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale to the count of 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. And exhale to the count of 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When we practice those longer exhalations, it can activate something called the parasympathetic nervous system. This is a quick way to activate your body's rest and digest mode. Energy support, Reiki sessions, breath work, or gentle yoga, being seated, standing, modified, doing the child's pose. Mountain pose is one of my favorites because you can practice mountain pose anywhere. That can help to reset your energy. I do have a Reiki energy reset short program that I'll include in the show notes. That's a good way to recharge during your day. But if you are having a rush day, simply practicing those breaths, or if you're standing in line, mountain pose, firmly plant the feet, imagine those roots, take your energy to your legs. Don't lock your knees, but just feel the muscles in your legs strong. Pull your spine upright, shoulders down and back. And if you can, put your arms out to the side, but if not, wherever they are, and then you simply focus on breathing and standing firmly in the moment. And the fifth tip, if you suspect adrenal fatigue or adrenal dysfunction, which you're all apt to have at some point in our lives, you can easily have your salivary cortisol checked or have your DHEA levels checked. Checking those levels does require labs, but you would be surprised that access to checking these levels is gotten a lot easier. Pretty cool time that we live in. So there's a couple of ways you can order these on your own or working with someone like me to get those levels checked and get an interpretation. Now picture this. You've had a long day at work and your mind is spinning with unfinished tasks. Instead of pushing harder, you pause, place a hand on your lower abdomen, and breathe. Remind yourself, I am safe in this moment. That single act resets both your energy and your adrenals. Many of my patients and Reiki clients notice that once they begin grounding daily, whether it's with walking, journaling, or meditating with the earth, their fatigue and their anxiety begins to lift. They don't just live from the neck up, they're living with their whole beings. For the next couple of minutes, let's just take a moment to reflect. This might be something that if you are someone who journals, you can use this as a journaling prompt from later. Or just use this now to contemplate, where am I overthinking when my body is asking me to feel? If you'd like to take a couple moments to ponder this, or if you have your journal nearby, just jot down some notes of, where am I overthinking when my body is asking me to feel? We'll take a few moments to do that. For your next steps, if you are starting to get the idea that your mind is powerful, but it doesn't have to carry all the weight of all the things. You've got your entire physical body, and even more importantly, you have your energy field and your intuition to carry the loads of stress and worries. My resource for you is my free downloadable guide, The Chakras and Hormones. I have two, but this one is a downloadable PDF that will take you through all of these energy centers, the connections to your hormones, and understanding how certain aspects of your life show up in your physical body and why the hormones might be the key. That's one of my assets. And then my other is a free workshop that's an even more in-depth experience of what we just did, called Harmonize Your Energy. In your show notes, I will make sure to put links to both of those. The Harmonize Your Energy is a roughly 90-minute workshop that also comes with some downloadable guides, takes you through a similar experience, but with that one, you'll get to experience in all of your energy centers. It was a favorite talk we did last year, so I've made it into an easy to access workshop. So as we complete this podcast, it has been a pleasure helping you hopefully get out of your head. I certainly got a chance to get out of my head just practicing that long inhale and long exhale. But we will be getting back together soon for the podcast. So check your show notes for those resources, and also check your show notes to join my newsletter, because we meet live. We do these podcasts live. You can jump on, you can meet me in Zoom in person. And the best way to know when those opportunities are coming up is to be part of the email community. So I will see you soon. Thank you so much. Questions, comments in your show notes or in your app that you're listening to on this podcast, you will see a link where you can send me a message. Thanks so much. Thank you so much for joining during this episode of the Art of Healing podcast. If you found this episode helpful, please leave a review. Also, you can check your show notes to find out how to get a copy of this and future episodes emailed directly to your inbox, available to listen to anytime. Finally, if you have questions or wish to connect to me, check your show notes to find out how we can get connected and find out how I can be of service to you.